Well, how y'all doing? Another day, another bit of news. It's a good Wednesday. I hope you're enjoying yours. Well, we're going to talk a little bit today about who else? Our president, the liar in chief, and his connections around all this stuff going on. I see where Paul Manafort, remember him? He was Trump's first campaign guy. He had to quit because of ties to Russia. Remember that? Well, he's back in the news again. They're investigating him a little bit more with his dealings in the Ukraine and the Crimea. When Russia took Crimea, that old boy, Manafort, he was doing business with the guy that was in charge of Ukraine, who was a Putin supporter. And he kind of helped things over there for Putin when then Putin took the Crimea. And remember why we talk about the Crimea. That's an important place. Putin needed that. Because Putin has them great, big, and I mean baby big, oil fields up in the Arctic up there near Russia, in the Kara Sea. More oil than the Gulf of Mexico ever had. Saudi Arabia, forget it. This stuff's big. That's what this is all about. Y'all have to remember that place, the oil that Putin has. No, Tillerson, you know his wife, I seen, was trying to get him to retire. He made a statement, he said, I shouldn't have took this job. Yeah, you reckon? Because you're getting shit smeared all over your name too. Yeah, because you're not going to go off in a blaze of glory and everybody's going to remember. You're probably going to Wikipedia your name later. It's going to come up scumbag. That's what everybody that's attached to Donald Trump, that's eventually what happens. You soil your name with his. Going down that rabbit hole, we're going to find the truth. So we got Paul Manafort. He's over there dealing with Putin. Rex Tillerson, he gives up a spot going to the NATO conference to go to Russia, to go to Putin. Well, now who do you think Europe thinks is more important? The NATO alliance? Or because Putin called our cotton-picking Secretary of State to come here, boy? Come here. Come here, Rex. Is that what this is? Because it sure looks like to me. We used to stand with NATO. Now, our Secretary of State, is too busy. Got to run over there to Russia. Talk about what I don't know. Oil, maybe? See, that's the thing about Rex. Tillerson used to be the head of ExxonMobil. Anybody that's been around the oil field any knows that fracking stuff going on and all that, they have chemicals and processes they use that they claim proprietary rights to. That's the Halliburton law that Dick Cheney put in back then. We can't tell you what we're pumping down in the ground because if we tell you, well, somebody else will steal our recipe. So we can't tell you what carcinogens or what other foul stuff we're pumping down in the ground because we don't want to ruin our business. So they have proprietary rights to information and methods that would make them oil fields up in Russia produce twice as much money. It's all about that money. And we're talking about a lot of money up there. So you really got to watch old Rex. Because old Manafort, I think all these things are going to tie in eventually. I seen the guy, Devin Nunes. Devin? Check me on that. Republican out of California. He's on the Senate Intel Commission there. And I haven't delved into him too much, but I'm going to, because it seems like he's got a little bit of ties to Russia too. Being on the Intel Committee, well, that might create a conflict of interest there. You reckon? So we're gonna I'm gonna look into him and see. Because every time you start digging around this oil business in Russia, names keep popping up. DeVos. Betsy DeVos. Her name's over there. Her name's tied up in that Russia stuff too. all these people ended up on our cabinet positions, you know. Well, we know why Betsy got in there. She paid that money in there. I think it was her brother that formed Blackwater, the one that made so much money off the First Gulf War. You know, contracting out everything our military should have been doing. We paid them civilians a whole lot more money than we pay our guys. It's one thing you got to watch about them government contractors. They get paid a whole lot more than the men that we ask to carry a rifle, drive that tank, or fly that airplane. We don't pay them half, not even a little bit, of what we value. It, you know, it torques me off in passing. I see stuff and it just torques me off. Just this guy, Thomas Rutledge. Thomas Rutledge. He's the CEO of Charter Communications. Charter Communications. I guess that's a cable company. I don't know. I'm going to look. Because he gets paid $98.5 million a year to sit in his office. You want to know what's wrong with this country? People like that get paid $98 million a year while we send some kid off and pay him $25,000 with a rifle and tell him to go die for our country. That's America. That's what this is about. That's what pisses me off. Scumbags that think they deserve somehow hundreds of millions of dollars a year to do what? Guide a company? You know, they say life is just a series of decisions. I can make a decision. You pay me half of what that man gets. I'll come to your company and I'll make it a better company. We'll make it a better company because we care more about the customers instead of how much the CEO is going to get paid. Because every bill that company ever sends out, a certain percentage of your money is going to pay his bill. Going to pay his compensation for that year. Every year! For what? Buy another island or some stuff? How much money do these people think they're worth? I was talking the other day about the defense contractor CEOs. Look it up. Healthcare CEOs. Look it up. These are the people that thieve. Remember when they used to talk about the givers and the takers? You know, the takers, all them us people out here that pay our taxes and all that. We're the takers. We're the takers. Why, you know, all them rich suckers up there, well, they're the job creators. You know how many jobs you can create with how much money we pay you each year? A lot. Every one of them. Our health care, our defense budget. That's bull, that defense budget. We're the most powerful country in the world. That's just payoffs. We don't need to add another $54 billion. We need to add that money to feed grandma, to keep the kid off the street after school. For us out here, our life. Not so some defense contractor could get paid $100 million a year and fly off to the Bahamas every time you turn around. Sit on gold thrones like Donald Trump and crap like that. Because it's all about that money. And that process goes all the way down the line down here where we are. Because that stuff stacks up. If you get so high on the ladder where you look down at them other people behind you. Get a little higher up the ladder, and you'll be looking at down at the people where you used to be. Believe me, I've been a little higher on the ladder. Those people up there that I knew, I don't know them anymore. They haven't wanted to know me in years. That's fine with me. Trying to keep that blood pressure down. We all need to keep our blood pressure down. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time today. I had some things to do this morning, so it kind of ate up the time that I had to delve into the news and to get to my comments and my mail. It's taken me a while to get back to the messages. There's a list, and I'm trying my best every day to get through them. If I haven't answered your message yet, believe me, I just haven't got there yet. I read them comments. The YouTube channel is doing great. A blue dot in Texas. My son says I should say this every time. I'm John Brutabo, and I'm a blue dot in Texas. And that's my YouTube channel. That way he says that people out there are putting around my videos without my name under them, well, they'll know who I am. But anyway, subscribe if you can to my YouTube. That's helping out. We're over 400 now, and it's growing every time I turn that thing on and go in there and look at it. So we're growing on YouTube. Facebook is well, you got to stay with who brought you to the dance, baby, and y'all brought me to this dance. I ain't never going to stop posting in my Facebook to the groups I belong to, and I belong to a lot of groups, and there are a lot of good people in those groups. Tickled with the conversations that go on in response to a post, and somebody will say something, and then somebody else will say something back, and then there's a conversation, and I just love that. And another thing just dropped right down there. Somebody else from YouTube just made a comment. I appreciate that, whoever it was. Anyway, almost the end of the day. Got to go take care of Jenny, put her back up in her stall, and get ready for the evening. I sure appreciate every one of you out there. The blue dots across the world, across the country. You red dots, listen up, baby. We're growing, and you're shrinking. About time to get over on the right side, on the winning side. Don't have to become all the way. You can stay a little bit Republican. We don't mind. We'll get you sooner or later. Well, y'all have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.